Hello, this is Dr. Ngcakani. I'm a physician based in Port Elizabeth. I've been a doctor now for 28 years, and this is my 21st year as a specialist physician. I've decided to make these videos because there is this increased need in me to educate the communities, that is the public, about this scourge of corona that we're in. Over the past week, I've tried to put together at least 2 videos trying to explain what COVID is and also the importance of early treatment. And now these are follow-up videos that I'll be making over the next week or so. So the idea is to equip our people to be ready for this third wave that we find ourselves in, to answer or address questions that may be in people's minds and maybe that we don't really have a chance to address properly whenever you feel you need answers. So here is an attempt to address what COVID is. The first video is about what is COVID and what does COVID do to us. So I've got here a couple of friends with me who are going to ask me questions, and they're representing you. If you've got any questions, please feel free to comment up our comment section below.
Thank you, Doc, for affording us this time to really get into an understanding of what is happening in our world today. I think maybe we should start by asking you to explain to us, just in simple terms, what the coronavirus is.
SARS-CoV-2 means severe acute respiratory syndrome. So immediately you get to understand that the disease is severe. It is acute, meaning that it takes place over a short space of time. It affects the lung, hence respiratory, and it's a syndrome because it causes many other disorders. So in SARS-CoV, CoV means corona, and then V is virus. So it's SARS-CoV. Then 19 is the year that it was discovered in, or the year that it was first seen in the world. So when you're talking about SARS-CoV-2, it's practically one of many other viruses within the family of coronaviruses. I'm not going to get much into detail, but within that family of coronaviruses, you have flu, the common flu that we normally see throughout the year, which we haven't seen this year. And then you've got others like MERS or SARS from the older epidemic that once took place some years back. I think it was 2009. And you've got other family members of the coronaviruses family. But SARS-CoV-2 is the latest or the last born of that family. It's the 7th in the family, and it is now found as a pandemic, meaning that it involves the whole entire world. So when you're looking at SARS-CoV-2 specifically, I know that there are many other sub-family members or variants of the SARS-CoV-2 virus specifically. Now when you're talking about COVID is a disease that arises from the infection of the severe acute respiratory syndrome virus called SARS-CoV-2.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Doc. My name is Taban. We are really interested in asking questions here so that we can understand this COVID. I think the more we understand, the better we are able to protect ourselves. So we are on third wave now. Sure. And I believe that every wave presents itself differently. Now, I would like to know how different is this particular wave? They call it what? Is it a beta this time? Or is it Delta? Delta was the last one. So this one is Delta. How different is Delta from beta? And how vicious it is? Basically, that's what I'm asking. That how vicious it is in attacking, and probably you can answer that question and also talk about compare how much did it sort of kill. Beta kill as compared to Delta.
I don't have all the full details of the numbers of people that died from one wave to the next wave, but we need to first understand that we had the first type of virus that we had in 2019, 2020 when the virus came on board. So that was the wild type. Whatever, that didn't have, it was not the variant, it was the first virus. So that was the original virus called the wild type, that is SARS-CoV-2. Then, after a short while, the virus started changing because naturally the virus wants to overcome the person or the victim that it infects. So what it does over time, it changes, it mutates to make itself more angry or aggressive so that it can survive longer and kill more, because that's the nature of the viruses. They're here to kill. So they're trying to fight for themselves and stay on and stay longer. So we noticed that I think it was early, was it in the middle of last year, there was the beta variant which started, actually there was an alpha variant which started in somewhere in England. And then the beta variant was found in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, where I live. And then over time, then they developed the Delta variant, which was initially picked up in India. And then there are other variants like the Gamma variant, which was found in Brazil. We're talking now about the possibility of the Lambda variant, which may be taking place again later on in the year. They're talking about the fourth wave in October. And then many other variants. I mean, I'm not going to talk about them. Variants of special interest and so forth. The long and the short of it is the reason that we are now talking about these different variants and and labeling them with the Greek alphabets instead of calling it the South African variant, that is the beta variant, instead of talking about the English one or the Indian one. People do not want to stigmatize the different countries, so it's safer to just put a letter of alphabet, and then they chose the Greek letter of alphabet, and then they put in the different names according to the specifications of the variant. Now, the alpha variant was much more aggressive than the original variant. And the beta variant that was specially found in South Africa initially was much more aggressive even than the alpha variant. And it was found later. And then it looks like each and every variant that comes after the one before it comes in much more prepared, much more armed, way different than the variant before it. So it's stronger in terms, not necessarily that it causes more deaths, but they usually cause more infectivity. That is, they come in more infectious than the variant before it. So if, say, for an example, the one variant would infect 2 people in a household, this one infects the whole entire household because it spreads, it's quite transmissible. So they talk about transmissibility. That is the most important thing about them, is the transmissibility. They become much more aggressive. But the strange thing about this Delta variant, specifically the one that we're experiencing now, opposed to the original first wave that we had, people presented in the first wave with typically the absence of smell, the loss of taste, and so forth. This one, the loss of taste and loss of smell comes somewhere in the middle of the presentation. People come in with the typical flu. It's like, I have a mild flu. Then people tend to be careless because they think that is a flu. And also we as doctors were caught off guard because we didn't expect that it would come in as a natural flu. And then obviously, because we're not expecting a disease, we think it's a natural flu, it's the right season, it's June, it's July, it's a natural flu. But then lo and behold, we find that these people are getting worse instead of getting better, even when they get the normal flu treatment that we normally offer. So then there became an interest in understanding, why is this one presenting like a normal flu, which we cannot understand really. That's how it is. It comes from the family of flu anyway, so it's not surprising.